back to the channel, guys. I just know good and well y'all recognize this center console. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a second generation. You can tell it's second generation by the center part of it. Okay, the first generation have the other design that's not this design. Okay, so this is a second generation. There is no third. Okay, they stopped making them, guys. Man, pitiful. I'm sorry. They stopped making the PT Cruiser. You know, everybody know by now that sales dictate if a particular car stays into production. Okay, obviously in 2010, that's what year this is. In the U.S. market, supposedly that was the last year. So obviously in 2010, sales of the PT Cruiser had dropped dramatically. Dropped so much, dropped enough to warrant stop making them, cut off production. Okay, so they pretty much eliminated the PT Cruiser off their roster in 2010. Like I say, man, somewhere I read somewhere there's a 2012 PT Cruiser out there somewhere. I don't know if that's true or not. If anybody know the answer to that, please comment below. Well, anyway, guys, this is the car my daughter drives. Y'all know kids cry all the time about the simplest thing. It's bad enough she don't like the car. She said it looks like a hearse. Quite frankly, she have a point, but because she have no other car, she gonna deal with it until she, you know, get her another car. But for now, while she driving, I am obligated to maintain it, and that's what I do. It's the one I put y'all remember I had to take the cylinder head off this car. She had a check engine light flashing. Y'all know what a check engine light flashing mean. That means it's misfiring right now. The computer sees it right now, and you really should not be driving if your car is in that state. Okay, because all you're doing is sending unburned fuel to the catalytic converter. In essence, you're ruining the cat converter. Okay, so you don't want that, man. If you're checking the light flashing, shut that car down, because you're misfiring right then. But this particular time, she have a legitimate complaint, guys. It's kind of hot in Atlanta. I think it's like 80, 85, maybe 82, something like that. But guys, AC is not working. Now, you all know to get max cooling, you should have, of course, the AC button on. That's off and that's on. This little light indicates such. But to get max cooling, you really need the recirc on. Okay, she didn't have that on, but that's likely not her problem. I mean, you're gonna be cold with the recirc button on or off. You will just achieve max cooling if the recirc button is on. So you will be recirculating the air inside the car. Max cooling on and on panel. Okay, so right now you should be getting cold air out, but this particular case, she's not. Okay, so now I'm at home, guys. She came over to visit. I'm at home, so I don't have no gauges. I don't have nothing. All I can do is visually inspect this thing. I don't have anything. So with that being known and said, let's go up under the hood, guys. Let's visually inspect a few things, because like I say, it's hard to do a proper diagnosis without the proper tools, and AC is complicated. It can get extremely complicated. Okay, you're dealing with pressures, you're dealing with electrical sensors, all kinds of things. So guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to ad break. That's right, I have to do these ad breaks. Okay, it helps the channel grow. Okay, and if you was patient, please watch the ads. YouTube said they're gonna try to put mostly automotive ads on the channel, so we'll see. Y'all let me know what kind of ads show up, because I have to get back with them. You know, they can tell if the ads was watched, so hopefully they will put my automotive channel, make my automotive channel automotive ads. You would think, right? Go figure. All right, guys, I'm rambling too much. Let me take an ad break. We're gonna go out in the hood when I get back, guys. Stay tuned. I'm going where I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I left this car running. Let's go under the hood, guys. See exactly what you can tell. Well, the little bit amount you can tell when you don't have any tools. Now, first thing first, guys, everybody knows for AC to work, you have to have air flowing through the condenser, right? A fan has to pull air through the condenser. So with that being known, that's one of the first easiest thing to check. And you would likely have overheating also if that wasn't the case, if your fan wasn't working. So put it this way, guys, if you was overheating and your fan and your AC was not working, you can pretty much assume you have an issue with your electric fan. But because I can hear and feel that a fan working, that's likely not my problem. Also, I remember it haven't been too long ago since I replaced this fan, but that is not my problem. Now, diagnosis wise, what can you do diagnostic wise without a set of gauges? Because quite frankly, you need to know low side pressures and the high side pressure. You need to see pressure. You need to visually see pressure. Okay. Now, small stuff you can do is look down there and try to see if the compressor coming on and off. I hear the compressor. Y'all hear that click? That was the compressor clicking. Okay, so what that tells me is the AC compressor actually came on. Now, what else could you do diagnostic wise because you have no gauges? Okay, now, had you not seen the compressor coming on, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna name this video things you can check without the proper tools to do AC work. Had you not saw that compressor come on, here's what a lot of guys do. They'll take a straight valve cap off and take some kind of foreign object and stick in there. If they hear a psh, they will assume that the car has Freon in it. Now, if you push this down, you hear nothing, you're likely empty, no Freon. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that off. Now, let's play hypotheticals here. Let's go off of assumption. Let's say you push that down, psh, that lets you know you have Freon, and you can see your compressor. Let's say the compressor wasn't coming on. Here's one quick thing you can do. You see this high pressure switch right here? This switch has to be closed. The circuit has to be closed to complete the circuit to the compressor. Okay? A lot of guys will take a jumper wire and jump this off, or jump across this to close the circuit manually. All right? If you do that and your compressor kick on and you start cooling, yes, you could assume that this sensor or switch, it's basically a switch, okay? It opens and closes in the event that there's high pressure or low pressure, okay? It's not really a sensor, and plus it's only 2 wires, so it's basically a switch. So if you jump that and your compressor come on, yes, the switch is likely open, even though it should be closed. It's just open, because all you're doing by jumping in is closing the circuit. Like I say, closing the circuit is the job of the switch. Okay, if it is internally open, it's not going to do its job. Hence, you should replace it. We replace these a lot, guys. These used to act up all the time. So we got that scenario out of the way. What's another scenario? Okay, like I say, if you push this and you don't hear any psh, you're likely empty. Okay, now from that standpoint, guys, that's another monster all in his own. In fact, I'm gonna go to a quick ad break. We're gonna talk about that scenario when I get back. All right, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. All right, guys, thanks for staying with us. We're back. We're talking about scenarios and hypotheticals. Okay, this AC is not working. I have no gauges to do a proper diagnosis. So there's a couple of things you should do if you have no gauges and you're trying to diagnose AC. We went over a couple as far as the switch, verifying if the compressor coming on and off, and verifying the fan. Now, as far as pressure goes, if you push this down and nothing comes out, it's simple, guys. You're totally empty on Freon. This particular car requires 1 pound of Freon to operate. So if you push that straight valve down, nothing comes out, it's empty. That is the reason why your AC is not cooling. Now, that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing. That's a bad thing that, yeah, you out of Freon and you need to find out why, because it would be not smart to simply put Freon back in it and go on your merry way, unless it's a tiny slow leak. All right, unless it's a very tiny slow leak. But in this case, let's do it this way. If you push that down, nothing comes out, it's the best time to do a visual inspection, because you likely have a large leak, especially if your AC was just working last week or something like that. Okay, that's the best time to look around, guys. Look around at that compressor look around in the condenser area. If you see any kind of black oily substance, that is the source of your leak. Now if you can physically see your AC drain tube and you see oily substance around it, that's even worse news, because that means your evaporator coil is leaking, and that is housed inside on the dash. The whole instrument panel have to come off to do that. So it can be good news and it can be bad news. Like I say, take it for what it's worth. Okay, you should be able to see oily substance around the condenser or the lines, or in fact the complete compressor. So that's not a bad thing to be low or empty of Freon. But at any rate, I just went over a couple of scenarios, guys. This is not the proper way to diagnose AC system. All right, please take that to heart. You need a scan tube and some gauges. The reason you need a scan tube, because the average modern car these days, the AC is electronic. Okay, HVAC system, okay, all of that stuff is on the bus network, which means you should see fault codes and things like that on your scan tube. So things have changed. You will probably need a scan tube, and you most definitely would need gauges. The gauges would tell you where your pressure lies, where your pressure stand. With that piece of knowledge, that will lead you in the proper way to diagnose the car. Okay, say if your compressor running and your gauges are stuck on the same temperature on both sides, high and low, you just have a compressor going out on you. Okay, so you really need the gauges, and you will likely need a scan too. All right, so because there's nothing else I can do, I just went over some tips with you guys as far as what you should do in the event you have neither gauges or scan tube. That's what you can do. Okay guys, that's all I have, man. Please don't dislike the video because I didn't go farther with the diagnosis. I have no gauges, but when I get back to the shop, today is Sunday and the shop is closed, so when I get to the shop and get my gauges, I can perform. We'll go over the whole diagnosis test, and I will show y'all how these are my opinions, and I like to tend to think I do it the right way, how I go by diagnosing why a particular car's AC system is not cold. All right, so that's all I have, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next video.